All right. There are agendas on the table outside the meeting room. This is a public meeting for which public notice has been provided. The proceedings are being broadcast and recorded and can be viewed online on the City of Casper's YouTube channel. First, I would like to read some informational statements about the meeting. Use of cell phones is not permitted, and such phones should be turned off or otherwise silenced during the Planning and Zoning meeting. When speaking to the Planning and Zoning Commission, please clearly state your name and address. Keep your remarks pertinent to the issues being considered by the Planning and Zoning Commission. Do not repeat the same statements that were made by a previous speaker. Speak to the Planning and Zoning Commission as you would like to be spoken to. Do not address applicants or other audience members directly, and make your comments at the podium and direct it to the chairperson and Planning and Zoning Commission. I would like to remind everybody present that the City of Casper Planning and Zoning Commission is a volunteer body composed of members of the Casper community appointed by the Casper City Council. The commission acts as a quasi-judicial panel, making final decisions on some items and recommendations to the City Council on others as dictated by law. The commission may only consider evidence about the case as it relates to existing law. The commission cannot make or change planning or zoning laws, regulations, policies, or guidelines. I will note that Commissioner Rubel is missing tonight and all others are in attendance. The next item on the agenda is consideration of the minutes from the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting held April 10th, 2025. Are there any additions or corrections? The chair calls for a motion to approve the minutes of the April 10th, 2025 Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. Moved by Commissioner Hunter.
A second.
Second by Commissioner Plowcheck. Having a motion and a second, is there any discussion? There being no further discussion, we will now vote. Are there any abstentions or nay votes? I guess we can just use. But do you have our votes? Okay. Okay, with all members voting aye, the motion carries. Public hearings. Next will be the scheduled public hearings. Before we get started, just a reminder to all this evening's applicants that it takes 4 affirmative votes to pass any item, regardless of the number of commissioners present. If any of the applicants would like to postpone their case in anticipation of the possibility of more commissioners being present next month, then I would ask you to speak up when your case is announced. Case number 1, the first case tonight will be CUP 815-2025, a request for conditional use permit for an in-home daycare to allow up to 15 children located at 4031 Norwood Street. Is the applicant present and do you wish to proceed? That's good enough for the commission. Can we please get staff's report at this time?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. An application has been submitted for a conditional use permit to allow a family child care center zoning review with a maximum capacity of 15 children in an R1 zoning district. The subject property is located at 4031 Norwood on a cul-de-sac accessed off of Breton Drive. All surrounding properties are also zoned R1, and all surrounding land uses are single-family residential. A family child care center zoning review is listed as a potential conditional use under section 1728-030. The hours of operation for the proposed daycare will be Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 5:15 p.m. A fenced outdoor play area is available as is required. Pursuant to DFS rules, a total of 2 workers or providers are required for a daycare of this size, and the minimum number of parking spaces according to the municipal code is 2 for use by customers, and the property has a double car width driveway that can accommodate 4 off-street vehicles. The property owner will be required to keep at least 2 of the existing 4 spaces open and available for use by customers during business hours. Norwood is a dead-end street that feeds into Breton Drive, and the city has no available traffic counts for Breton Drive, which suggests that Breton Drive, a local residential street, does not currently have any significant traffic issues. The Department of Family Services handles licensing, evaluates the adequacy of the area within the house and play and yard for play and other activities, and regulates the nature and quality of the care provided. Child cares are also routinely expected by the City County Health Department and the City Fire Department. Based on information provided by DFS, there are 3 other licensed child cares within a half mile of the subject property. Mr. Chairman, we are recommending 4 conditions of approval, and I'll go ahead and read those into the record. First, the applicant shall maintain a minimum of 2 open off-street parking spaces for use by daycare customers to load and unload children during the hours when the daycare is in operation. Second, pursuant to section 1712-140A2 of the municipal code, signage for all home-based childcare shall be limited to only signage that is non-illuminated, attached flush with the dwelling, and not exceeding 1 square foot in area. Third, the family child care center is approved as a secondary accessory use of the property. The primary use of the property shall remain single-family residential, which is a permitted use in the R1 zoning district. Therefore, the owner of the family child care center must live on the subject property. If the operator of the family child care center is found not to be residing on the premises, the conditional use permit may be immediately revoked by the city pursuant to section 1712-240J. And fourth, pursuant to section 1712-240M3, the conditional use permit shall be granted to the child care provider and shall not attach to the land. At the time the staff report was drafted, we had no letters to report. However, since that time, we've received 3 letters of support, which have all been provided to you at the desk. I have 8 exhibits to enter. A is the application for a conditional use permit. B, public notice sent to property owners within 300 feet. C, legal notice sent to the Star Tribune. D, photo of the public notice sign on the property. E, memo to the chairperson and members of the Planning and Zoning Commission. F, letter of support from Sterling Butler, received June 11th, 2025. G, letter of support from Riata Walker, received June 11th, 2025. And H, letter of support from F.E. Bird, received June 12th, 2025. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Mr. Collins. Thank you for the report, and the exhibits are noted. Does anyone on the commission have any preliminary questions for staff about the report? Next, I would ask the representative to come forward to the microphone, state your name and address for the record, and explain your application to the commission. Congratulations.
Okay, yep, okay, there we go. Now I can hear myself. That's not what I want to hear. And I just thought that, you know, her letter kind of explains a few things, but I wanted to kind of share some of the intent, I guess, her motivations behind the request. So she's a Casper native. She was born and raised, and she just really has a heart for kiddos. And she's been doing this for a very long time. 38 years, I think, is the amount of time that she's been a licensed provider. And some of the kids that she started off watching are actually waiting and wanting to bring their kids to her to see. So I think that speaks volumes, honestly. She has a waiting list. All of them are for referrals, and she just wants to be able to help the community in her own little special way. And her way right now is to try to increase, you know, the ability to watch kids in the neighborhood and kind of help some of the families here in Casper. So that's what I had to say.
you, Mr. Hendrickson. Does anybody on the commission have any questions?
I might have missed it, but how many kids are currently cared for?
She's licensed for 8.
8 now? So
Yes.
it's just to increase the amount of children. Okay,
Yes, correct.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else?
I had a couple questions. So she's
Sure.
currently license free. I noticed that it says that you'll be licensed for 15 unrelated children.
Yes.
Do you have related children that'll be there?
No.
No.
They're all grown and
Or
and
grandchildren?
They're having triplets.
Yeah, the grandchildren are down in Texas. They're all out of state.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Craig, I noticed down in the summary, it just says 15 children. Is there, in the definition of the 17.08, it says unrelated, and then down in the summary, it just says that it's a maximum capacity of 15 children.
Yeah, that's just, I omitted that word.
Okay, that's just curious.
We'll
about-
go with the definition that's found in the municipal code.
I don't think I have any other questions. Thank you.
Anybody else? Now is the time when we ask members of the audience to come forward in either support or in opposition to the case. Please remember to state your name and address clearly into the microphone for the record. Anyone wishing to speak in support of the case, please come forward now. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition to the case, please come forward now. Seeing nobody else wishing to speak in either support or in opposition to the case, the chair hereby closes the public comment portion of the public hearing and calls for motion to approve with conditions, denied, table, or postpone to a date certain. Moved by Commissioner Elston. To approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Eskew.
Mr. Chairman, does that include the factors and findings in the report along with the 4 conditions?
So do I need to revise my motion to approve with the factors and conditions?
Or informally just say that it does include it?
Yes, it does.
Okay, thank you.
Having a motion and a second, is there any discussion? There being no further discussion, please cast your vote. Please record the vote.
With all members voting aye, motion carries.
Congratulations, your conditional use permit has been approved. And I think Craig may well have some additional paperwork for you, but he'll get with you after the meeting.
In the coming week.
In the coming week.
Yep.
The second case tonight will be ZOC-822-2025, a zone change on the property located at 711 East Collins from C2 General Business to C4 Highway Business. Is the applicant or their representative present, and do you wish to proceed? Okay, I'll get to you in just one second.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Let me get the staff report now.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Application has been made for a zone change at the property located at 711 East Collins Drive from C2 to C4 Highway Business. The applicant's plan for the property is to demolish the existing vacant structure and to construct a new service shop / warehouse for Letz's Appliance Store, which is located at 642 East 2nd Street. Under the current C2 zoning of the property, neither service shops nor warehouses are listed as permitted uses. However, C4 zoning does allow both. Land uses in the area are primarily commercial, except for the adjacent property on the east, which appears to be a single-family residence. Zoning surrounding the property is C4 to the north and C2 on all other sides. Section 1712-170, the municipal code provides guidance on zone change requests and requires that staff provide a report to commission as to the required request conformance with the comprehensive land use plan. The future land use map is an illustrative map within the comprehensive plan that identifies the physical distribution of land uses and forms the basis for future zoning and land use regulations. The map identifies the subject property as being in an area designated as a community center, and community centers are characterized as a concentration of commercial activity serving a larger area than a neighborhood center, but they do not draw from the uniqueness of the urban center. Community centers are areas designated for retail, trade, service uses, offices, and multifamily residential. Mr. Chairman, we have no public comments on this case, and I have 5 exhibits for you. A is the application for a zone change. B, public notice sent to property owners within 300 feet. C, legal notice sent to the Star Tribune. D, photo of the public notice sign on the property. And E, memo to the chairperson and members of the Planning and Zoning Commission. With that, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you for the report, and the exhibits are noted. Does anyone on the commission have any preliminary questions for staff about the report? Next, I would ask the applicant to come forward to the microphone, state your name and address for the record, and explain your application to the commission.
Hi, my name is Terry Letts. Our family has owned Letts's Appliance forever, since the 1960s. We've actually finally outgrown our little building, and we need to move out our service shop over to somewhere else in order to have some more showroom floor in our store. We bought the Tasty Freeze building 10 years ago, 8 years ago, somewhere in there. And with the idea of repairing it, and found out it's non-repairable. The building foundation is shot. So about the only thing we can do is tear it down and find out what kind of building we can build there. Basically just for appliance repair and parking of our service trucks. And that's pretty much it.
Thank you, Mr. Letts. Does anyone on the commission have any questions?
Yes,
Mr.
Mr. Chairman. What type of building are you proposing to build there? Is it going to
Well,
be stick built or a steel building?
If
or-
it's allowed, I would like to build a steel building.
Steel building.
I just got through building a barn dominium out on Allendale, and like the way it's built, and it's very secure. So kind of in that guideline if it's able to be built there. If not, we would probably build a block building to replace this one.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. How large would the building be? Just at
Whatever's allowed on the lot.
Thank you.
We haven't got that far yet, but it's kind of an odd shaped lot. So that's kind of why we're starting with from scratch, because it's long and narrow, and whatever we can build in there for the building and be in requirements, we'll build on there. It'll have probably a front and a side to the west access door, and maybe to the back a garage door where we can bring in appliances from our trucks and work on them. Yeah. And mostly the storage there will be appliance parts, and whatever we're working on at the time. Yeah, so that's about it. Since we're getting to be the last appliance dealer that services, we're getting busier and busier every year. So we need to add more service people and add more space.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions? Thank you, Mr. Letts.
Thank you.
Now is the time when we ask members of the audience to come forward in either support or in opposition to the case. Please remember to state your name and address clearly into the microphone for the record. Anyone wishing to speak in support of the case, please come forward now. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition to the case, please come forward now. Seeing nobody else wishing to speak in either support or opposition to the case, the chair hereby closes the public comment portion of the public hearing and calls for a motion to approve, deny, table, or postpone to a date certain.
DOC 8/22/2025.
We have a motion to approve by Commissioner Hutchison, second by Commissioner Hunter. Having a motion and a second, is there any discussion? There being no further discussion, please cast your vote. Please record the vote.
With all members voting aye, motion carries.
Congratulations, your zone change has been approved. Staff will contact you in the next few days to advise you of the next steps. Thank you. Any special issues? There are currently none tonight, so we're going to move on to the next item on the agenda. Any communications from commissioners? Any communication from the community development director or city planner? And the council liaison, I know he told us he would not be able to make it tonight. Any communication from the OYD liaison? Congratulations.
So I was voted in as vice chair for the OYD committee. We are working on a joint committee meeting for OYD, DDA, and DCBA for this month. And so we're holding off on our OYD meeting until, I believe, June 23rd. So.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have anything for the commission? Dan, we are going to get you back to your Calcutta on lickety split. The final item on the agenda is adjournment. The next meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission is currently scheduled for Thursday, July 10th, 2025 at 6 p.m. There being no further business to conduct, the chair calls for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Moved by Commissioner Eskew. Second by Commissioner Flowcheck, sorry. I'll get it right. Please cast your vote. Please record the vote.
With all members voting aye, motion carries.
Meeting is officially adjourned at 6:20. Thank you all.
6:30. Yeah.